Oh, hey there, Bruce. Welcome back to Remember 11. In the last episode, we found a plate full of potentially poisoned cheese. Okay, it was definitely poisoned cheese. The rat got poisoned before Inabushi or whoever the fuck smashed it into the table and really made sure that it wasn't going to be suffering from poison anymore. Anyway, now we're going to, apparently, carry the plate to our room. Let's do that. So that we can sample it later. I put it down on the desk and began to wander aimlessly. Alright, so I'd gotten it in here, but now I didn't know what to do with it. Not eat it. I'm not even sure if the liquid on the cheese really is poison or not. I could try tasting it and see, but obviously I wouldn't dare. As I continued muttering, I heard a knock at the door. Oh, this is bad. I hurriedly tried to hide the cheese, but it was too late. The person on the other side opened the door without waiting for a reply. I whirled around, trying to conceal the cheese behind my back. Yukido-kun, lunch is ready. Is that you, Utsumi-san? Okay, I'll be right there. Huh? Yukido-kun, are you hiding something behind your back? No. You're lying, you're definitely hiding something. Utsumi drew closer to me. Pressing her hands down on my shoulders, she hefted herself up to peek over the surface of my table. What's this? Cheese? Giving in, I explained everything to her. I was planning to poison you with it. Did you have to ruin the surprise? I see. Sounds like something she would do. She? I don't really have to tell you, do I? You're talking about Hattori. Utsumi gave a slight nod in reply, her expression serious. Think about it. The reason she's here... I see. Inabushi Kaiko has DID and she's a murderer. The motive behind her crimes at Awazumi is still unclear, but it's a fact that she holds no qualms about killing living things. I guess a single rat would be no trouble for her. However, in the end, that's an act that another personality living dormant inside Inabushi Kaiko committed. Hattori is not at fault. I believe that. Will you let me borrow this for a while? Utsumi asked me, picking up the plate. What do you want it for? I'll test to see whether the liquid is poisonous or not. How? Utsumi smiled suggestively and left the room. The lunch Utsumi made, I didn't so much as touch it. Though I hadn't eaten anything since this morning, I had absolutely no appetite. I wasn't conscious of it myself, but deep in my heart I'd accumulated a fair amount of emotional stress. My stomach really couldn't take anything right now. And there was another reason that I didn't touch the meal. The liquid sprinkled on that cheese. If it really was poison, and if the one who gave it to the rat and the killer who's after me were the one and the same, I didn't really want to think about it. But as they say, better safe than sorry. Sorry, my stomach doesn't feel good. I notified Utsumi and stood up from my place. I returned to my room. Sitting down on the bed, I folded my arms. My left arm was still throbbing. Unfolding them, I let my right hand brush the wound. That pain reminded me of yesterday, whether I wanted to think about it or not. Someone attacked me last night, but even I tend to forget things. Surrounded by the calm atmosphere of the other three, the urgency I felt, knowing that someone was out to kill me, was fading. But the scar reminded me. Someone had definitely tried to kill me. And I'll bet that the culprit hasn't given up yet. I'm sure whoever it is just waiting for their next opportunity. Knowing that, it's impossible for me to just stand around here. In order to uncover the truth, I left the room. I saw Hattori over the living area window. She was gazing at the snowy landscape outside, standing there alone. I slowly approached her. Hattori? I called out to her. She quietly turned around. What's up? A naive answer. With pure, transparent eyes, she looked at me. I couldn't feel the slightest hostility or wariness from her. Face to face with such a defenseless woman, just what should I say? Are you the one trying to kill me? Like I could ask her that. For now, I decided to ask her about the rat. Do you remember last night? Last night? About the rat. What about it? An unexpectedly quick reply. Caught by surprise, I was left bewildered for a brief moment. Are you the one who killed it? I finally brought myself to say it. Yeah? You saw it too, right? I smashed it against the edge of the table. How can she say that with a straight face? Maybe right now she's... Are you really Hattori? I asked her, studying her expression. Why are you asking me something like that? Do I look like someone else? Then you're Hattori right now, after all. Yeah, I'm Suzukage Hattori, right now. I was Suzukage Hattori before, too. And I'll still be Suzukage Hattori in the future. Forever and ever until the day I die. I am me. And I'll live as Suzukage Hattori all my life. Shouldn't that be obvious? conflict welled up within me. I wanted to believe Hattori. I wanted to believe that the Hattori personality had nothing to do with the rat, nor with the events at Awazumi. But her answer just now. The person right now is unmistakably Suzukage Hattori. She even said that herself, and she was the one who killed the rat. And yet, still grasping for a single ray of hope, I had to ask. Hey, one last thing. Hattori, did you really, you know, that rat? God, you're so stubborn. Why do you keep asking me that? Are you trying to make me feel bad about it or something? It was just a rat. I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of it. Just a rat? Don't you feel sorry for it? Sorry for it? Why? I have no idea what you're talking about. It was just a rat, got it? Is it illegal to kill a rat or something? If I kill a rat, is someone going to press charges against me? That's not the problem, okay? Then what is? That rat was a living being. You can't treat a living thing with such cruelty. Well, there it is. The hero of justice makes his grand entrance. That's so cool. I mean, are you saying you'd never kill a cockroach, Satoru? I mean, usually I don't kill insects that come in the house. I usually just put them outside. So, no, probably not. Seriously? Yeah, I wouldn't kill any living thing for no reason. Fine, then how about cows or pigs or chickens? Or fish, plants, or microbes? You've never killed one? Can you say you've never killed one? No, but I don't think those are necessarily the same. Well, microbes certainly aren't the same thing. I remained silent. I had nothing more to retaliate with. A blue vein began to throb in Hattori's temple. With a sharp glint in her eyes, she scowled at me, as if she were releasing a torrent of dammed up emotions. What I did was no different. So can you please stop saying things that make me look like the bad guy? Instead of hating me for it, shouldn't the rat feel grateful for me doing that? How can you feel sorry for it? I just thought, what if it was for the best? What do you mean? What don't you understand? I simply relieved it from its pain. It was in agony on the kitchen floor, so I ended its life. Actually, isn't taking away the pain and suffering like that the same as what a doctor does? It's just that in that case, it wasn't a human I helped, but a rat. Listening to her, I finally came to my senses. It seemed I misunderstood Suzukage Hattori. From this morning to this afternoon, Hattori had worn an innocent look on her face and behaved calmly, as if she'd forgotten about the rat. Looking at her, I thought about it. So it mustn't have been the Hattori personality who killed the rat after all, I thought. But I was wrong. She committed the act as though it were perfectly natural because she thought nothing of it. She felt no guilt at all. That's why she could be so nonchalant about it. To her, I guess killing a mere rat was nothing. She'd only thought of it as just another ordinary event in her ordinary life. Just a rat. Well, that may be true, but what if she said just a human being as well? The thought made my hair stand on end. And moreover, she'd already taken the lives of not one but 12 people in the past. I simply relieved it from its pain. It was in agony on the kitchen floor. Oh, like the people in the hospital? Because she killed people that were in the hospital and they were probably in pain, so she was just relieving them of their pain? This seems like it's taking a dark turn. Isn't taking away pain and suffering like that the same as what a doctor does? The motive for the horrendous murders at Awazumi Municipal Hospital may have been as simple as that. Is that it? If we're done, I'll go now. There's nothing more terrifying than a being without malice. The more naive her behavior, the more prominent the madness within her becomes. As easily as crushing an insect or beating a rat to death, she could take a human life. Once again, I thought I had to change the way I viewed her. But of course, I didn't let it show on my face. Trying to keep my emotions in check, I aimed one final question at her. Save again, because I know if I get this wrong, she's gonna murder me. Were you the one who made the rat sick? I get what you're trying to say, Hattori. You couldn't stand to watch the rat suffer, so you killed it. Is that it? Hattori gives a small nod. But before that, you were the one who brought the rat to the verge of death in the first place, weren't you? Huh? Don't play dumb. I found the cheese with the liquid poured over it hidden in the storeroom corner. It still had the rat teeth marks on it. I don't know the composition of the liquid, but it's probably poison, right? And you gave it to the rat. Wait a second. I have no idea what you're... Don't you lie to me. There's no one else who would do something so cruel. No, it wasn't me. Well, who was it then? I don't know anything about that. Hattori's expression stiffened. Her pale face began to twitch. She was clearly terrified. Even so, I didn't let up. I kept piling on the pressure. You have homicidal impulses, don't you? To satisfy those desires, you have to kill something else instead of humans. Why are we going in so hard right now? Like... what? I just said, were you the one who did it? Not fucking go at her like a fucking prosecuting lawyer. So you killed the rat? No, no, no. Why'd you poison it? So it couldn't move? Well, maybe you intended to kill it with poison, but it survived. Why are you saying these things? Even though it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Or did you want it to suffer? First you bring it to the verge of death and then you kill it? By doing that, you can make an excuse for yourself, saying, I set it free from its pain. Basically, you just wanted to justify killing it. Stop, please stop. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to. Is this when she flips out and we switch back to Kokoro? No, that's not it. Because the life of one little rat means nothing to you in the first place, isn't that right? Since you feel no guilt, you don't even need to justify it. Then what? Did you want to indulge in your own desire for superiority? By watching that rat writhe on the floor, you got drunk on that sense of godlike control over its life? By affirming your dominance, your omnipotence, you... At that moment... yeah, here we go. All of a sudden, Hattori screams. Is this the one where she throws the chair, right? At the end of her rope, she cowered on the floor. No, stop. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Don't want to go where? Let me stay here. No, you have to leave. You killed the rat. Then in abrupt silence, still crouching on the floor, she no longer has so much as twitched. Hattori? I called out to her, but she didn't react. I tried laying a hand on her shoulder. She slowly got to her feet, and emotion had been stripped from her. All emotion had been stripped from her face. That white face was concealed behind an inhuman mask. Her empty eyes saw nothing. I made to call out to her, but before I could open my mouth, she slit my fucking throat. I'm still curious why we went in so hard on her. Like, that was a bit much, bruh. A transfer. I was holding Yuni's small body in my arms. We were on the top bunk. Yuni and I were perfectly glued to each other, our faces too close for comfort. I tore away from him in a panic. Something fell onto the bed with a soft thud. It was a scorched teddy bear. It had fallen between me and Yuni. I picked it up and stared at it. The teddy bear was missing an ear. Judging from the soot all over its body, it looked as if it had been through a fire. A fire? I instantly thought of the crashed Flight 18. Still holding the teddy bear, I jumped down from the bed. Yuni climbed down the ladder after me. Looks like you've calmed down, he said. But I didn't know what he was referring to. I didn't know, but I guessed it was probably directed at Kokoro. No shit. Just seconds ago, Kokoro's consciousness was in this body. Yuni's words meant that until a while ago, Kokoro was not calm. Oh well, I'll ask about that later. First of all, I told him, I'm Satoru right now, so he wouldn't mistake me for her again. And Yuni? Ah, that's so. Is that so? With that curt reply, he sat down on a log chair at the table, holding the teddy bear to my bosom. I sat down across from him. So then, Satoru. Wait. Can you give me 3 minutes? What? Why? Come on, please. Just be quiet for 3 minutes. Yes, sir. Yuni made a mocking salute. Why did I have to salute? Why did I have to silence Yuni? The thing is, I now understood that the time right after a transfer is incredibly precious. A precious, busy time. There's several things I had to confirm, and giving myself some time to sort out my feelings was essential too. If new information came rushing at me before I could relax, I'd panic. That's why I told him to keep quiet. Now then, time to get my thoughts in order. Starting with my feelings. Now here we go. I was worried about the change in Hattori before this transfer. She'd suddenly screamed, cowered on the floor, and then when she got up, she looked as though she'd been reduced to an empty shell. On the verge of insanity, or perhaps already a step beyond it. Anyhow, she definitely looked deranged, as though rational thought had deserted her, and the one who'd driven her to the edge was none other than me. I may have chosen my words a bit too carelessly. Hattori was already mentally scarred. My words had only served to further pick at those scars. Even if my intentions had backfired, how could I blurt out such idiotic words? All I can do now is regret. When Kokoro transfers her there, how is she going to deal with the insane Hattori? Will she comfort her in my place? No, I can't push everything onto her like that. I've made my bed and now I have to lie on it. Now that I'd calmed down, something else came to my attention. I still can't bring myself to hate Hattori. Back there, I unintentionally flared up and blurted out some pretty reckless things. But I really do want to help her. Even if she's a mass murderer? Yes. Even if she's a mass murderer, I can't abandon her because I can't really put it into words, but I somehow feel that the shadow of a very similar existence within the girl called Hattori. Yuni, resting his chin on his hand, was tapping on the tabletop with one finger. Only 2 minutes had passed. In the remaining minute, I needed to take care of the things that I can only do here in the shelter cabin. I can't think about Hattori forever. I switched over to other matters. There were 2 things I needed to take care of. Checking the time and then listening to the voice recorder. Present time, 1:57 PM. 5 minutes had passed since I came to the shelter cabin, so the time of the transfer would be 1:52 PM. I took the voice recorder out of my pocket and hit the playback button. No new messages had been recorded. Like usual, because as Kokoro was really bad at that. So that left just one thing. I took off the wristwatch and fastened it around the teddy bear's neck. Then I sat it on the chair next to me. Okay, that was exactly 3 minutes, right? So, what were you trying to say just now? Let's see. He brought his hand from his chin to his forehead. Ah, that's right, now I remember. Actually, he wanted to ask me a favor. A very simple favor. That is to say, I think Seiji and Lin are having a fight outside. So, could you get them to make up, please? There it was. I promptly stood up and opened the door. Yomogi was sitting right in front of the cabin, his back to me. Lin was lying in the snowfield, her arms and legs outstretched. Come on, Mayuzumi-san. Why don't you get up already? Shut up, you musclehead. Good grief. If you lie down in a place like this, you're going to develop spots all over. You okay with that? That's none of your damn business. I'm still young, so I don't care. Oh, now you're just bluffing. Huh? What did you say just now? Are you saying I have the skin of an old hag? Honestly, nobody said that. I'm just saying that the ultraviolet rays on top of the mountain are a whole lot stronger than down at the base. Fine by me. I'm converting them with my photosynthesis, so leave me alone already, because I'm a plant woman, goddammit. It definitely sounds like they're fighting, but as far as I can see, it didn't seem to be anything to worry about. This is about normal for them. That aside, something's bothering me. The weather. This refreshingly clear blue sky. Mount Akakura has been blessed with clear weather, just as our Aosagi Island had. Still, the temperature was considerably lower up here. Shivering, I pulled the door shut. They're fine. What was that? You hardly even call that a fight. But, more importantly, I have something to ask you. I sat back down on the log chair. I get the sense that all I've been doing recently is asking people questions, but oh well. There are too many things I don't understand. What's up? Yuni inclined his head. There was just a trace of anxiety in that expression. I'll save. That's what I'll do. Yeah, ask about Kokoro. About Kokoro? About Kokoro? Didn't you just say, looks like you calmed down? What do you mean? Did something happen to Kokoro? I don't really know either. You don't know? Or rather, isn't this kind of strange? Huh? Because, you know, me having to tell you what's wrong with Kokoro? Truth is, about Kokoro, more than me, is it Kokoro or rather it's you who should know better? Wait a moment, I'm Satoru now, aren't I? I know that. Yuni cut off his words. He averted his eyes, pondering on something. I'll forget it, he muttered. Anyway, on why Kokoro cried, I don't know. Cried? Yeah. After she came back, she was all gloomy, so I tried to ask her what was wrong. Then Kokoro hugged me, and she started crying. Yuni nodded quickly. You said after she came back, you mean she'd gone somewhere outside until then? Yeah. Where? The crash site of the airplane. She set out early, I think. Around 9:30. Did she go alone? No, she went with Seiji. And later they came back carrying food supplies and some useful stuff, among other things. Ah, I see. The teddy bear next to you. Seiji found that too. Picking the teddy bear up, I gazed at it again. When I tried to touch its face, I felt something wet. I see. After muttering in a weak voice, I put the teddy bear back down. From how Yuni described it, I could more or less imagine. Kokoro went to the crash site. Most likely she saw the disfigured crash victims. I'm sure she was exposed to a terrible sight. I can't begin to comprehend what she saw stretched before her eyes. It would only be natural to feel shock. She's a girl, and moreover, she was on the same plane with all those people. I understood how she felt. At the same time, I felt restless. She must be fairly distraught by now. And on top of that, another transfer occurred at the worst possible moment. It wouldn't be strange for her to lose it completely. Nevertheless, I can't be by her side. There's nothing I can do to comfort her. Like two magnetic poles, we can never come in contact with each other. All I can do is... Oh, that's right, the voice recorder. I whispered without thinking. Uni stared at me blankly. Sorry, would you give me a minute? Excusing myself, I stood up from the table and went down to the underground storeroom. I took the voice recorder out of my pocket. I put my finger on the record button. But what should I say to her? I hadn't really thought this through. But unable to restrain itself in my impatience, my finger moved on its own. The recording light lit up. I have to say something. Still thinking, I started to speak. It's me, Satoru. I heard from Uni. It seems you went to the crash site, huh? I'm kind of awkward, so I don't know what to say at times like this. Just one thing. Wait, what did he say to us? Didn't we listen to this as Kokoro? Let's go with the bottom one. Kokoro, I want you to think about what the meaning is of you being alive right now. You can't get back the lives of those who are lost. There's nothing you can do about things that have already come to pass. But at least you're still alive. There must be some meaning in the fact that you survived. That's what I think. That's why I want you to think about what you can do now. This is you we're talking about after all. You're a smart person. You understand what I'm saying, right? Kokoro, try not to lose heart. You're not alone. I'm always right next to you. Like E.T. We may not be able to make direct contact, but it's like you and I share one body and one heart, so think of me as being right next to you and be at ease. Bye then. I hit the stop button. Maybe it was because I got caught up in the moment, but I ended up saying some pretty embarrassing things. But I don't really feel like recording it over again. I thrust the voice recorder back in my pocket. Hey Satoru, you done yet? I'm bored. Let's play something. Uni's innocent voice reached me from the upper floor. Yeah, I'm coming. I answered him and put a hand on the ladder. Boy, what an easygoing kid. Uni doesn't seem to be the least bit troubled. Even in this kind of situation. It's because we know he's going to survive. And he does too. Stranded on a snowy mountain in midwinter. Unable to make contact with the rescue team. But even then, how can Uni... All of a sudden I felt a shock. As though lightning had struck me. I hurriedly jumped down from the ladder I'd been climbing. How could I have forgotten something so important? So many disorienting events kept happening around me that I forgot all about the most important things. And not just one or two inconsequential things either. Things that could decide whether I live or die. My mind went into full operation in an instant. I considered the transfer phenomenon. Uni's existence held the key to solving it. Not the Uni at SPHIA, but the Uni at the shelter cabin. Unless I guess wrongly, the Uni here is from the year 2012. Both of them transferred only once, switching places with each other. But in spite of that, Uni acts totally indifferent to what's going on. I'm certain that he knows something vital. For now, I at least have to ask him, why is Uni's body at SPHIA? And I have to report this to Kokoro too. She asked me in the message back at SPHIA how two Unis can exist at the same time. Moreover, she questions the newspaper article as well. In other words, she's convinced that the world of the Mount Akakura and the world of SPHIA both exist in the year 2011. I avoided discussing it in my message last night, but I can't deceive Kokoro any longer. If what I have to tell her is going to upset her, then I've got to resolve it. I'll offer as much information as I can get. I started recording again. Kokoro, there's something I forgot to mention, so please listen. You probably won't believe me right away, but this is what you think right now, right, Kokoro? That this is the year 2011. But that's not true. In the world you're in right now, it's 1 year later, the year 2012. If you don't believe me, you can ask the people around you. But this is an undeniable fact. I'd like for you to accept it as it is. That's why about Uni. Huh? What? What? What about me? Without warning, Uni's head appeared from the hole in the ceiling. I jumped, dropping the voice recorder. I hurriedly picked it up. Right when I was in the middle of recording, I pushed the stop button and shoved the VR in my pocket. Wasn't that a voice recorder just now? Were you recording something? Well, I got it. You were leaving a message for Kokoro, am I right? How's this kid so sharp? Well, no, maybe not. It may not be his godly intuition. I've been interrupted right in the middle, but now that it's come to this, there's nothing I can do. Let's settle things with Uni first. Uni, we have to talk. Once I said that... another question? He screwed up his face in dissatisfaction. I returned to the upper floor and walked to the middle of the room. What is it now? Still sporting a sour look, he came over to me. With both his arms swinging sluggishly, he stood before me. Have you ever heard of SPHIA? I don't have time for chit-chat. I decided to go with a frontal attack. Sofia? Isn't that the capital of Bulgaria? That's Sofia, right? Please don't try to evade the question. I wasn't really. Then let me ask you something else. Do you remember what you told me when we first met? First met? You meant the day before yesterday. That was so long ago, I'd already forgotten about it. I see. Let me tell you then. This is what you said. This person just forgot. What do you mean by that? Nothing really. What I said was just the truth. The truth? Well, wasn't it? Because Satoru has amnesia. Wait, what'd you just say? I said because Satoru has amnesia. How do you know that? I'm sure I never mentioned my amnesia to anyone in this shelter cabin. Huh? He felt himself lost for words. His facial expression immediately froze. His eyes darted around the room. Seems I finally got him. And that's not all. Even if I talked to you about my amnesia, that would have come later, right? Back when you said that, we'd have just met for the first time. And nobody had noticed that another personality had taken control of me. Even I hadn't realized what was going on myself. So why? How did you know that Kokoro's personality had changed? How did you know that I was Yukido Satoru, and that the same Satoru had amnesia? That's, I don't think you'll believe me, but Yuni wrote on the ground with the toe of his shoe as he answered. I have the power of precognition. Precognition? Yeah, it's not really something to be surprised about. I call it precognition, but I can only see vaguely into the near future. I looked deep into his eyes. The panic that had been there just a moment ago had completely vanished. I don't get it. I didn't get it. I couldn't tell what he was thinking anymore. You don't believe me, do you? There was nothing suspicious in the tone of his voice, but still I felt he wasn't telling the truth. Really, there was very little credibility to what he just said. There was no way I can believe it in precognition. What disturbed me the most was the gap I felt in his tone and what he said. Precognition, I see. There's no way I'd actually believe that, but for now, let's go along with it. Well then, will you prove it to me? Try to predict what's going to happen after this. Anything regarding the future is okay. Even just one event is fine, so show me what you got. Yuni answered, gently knocking his fist against his jaw. Yeah, okay then. Well then, would you give me your palm? Huh? The palm of your hand? It doesn't matter if it's the right or left. Would you show me? No way. You're not talking about palm reading, are you? So what if I am? You don't call that prediction? Isn't that just fortune telling? Fortune telling is a kind of precognition. It's true. Come on already and show me. Oh, okay. I don't know what just happened there. I'm sure I didn't click the button for that one. Well, we're going to miss out on that. The feeling of the palm of my hand unexpectedly changed. And that wasn't the only change. My posture, my field of vision, the smell in the air had all changed like a flash, like magic. A transfer. I instantly realized it. However, I couldn't understand the state of my body so instantly. I gradually confirmed everything around me. First off, I was in a private room at SPHIA. My body was on the bed, lying on its side in the fetal position. I'm looking toward the window. Through it, the blue sky outside was visible, and in one of my hands, I felt another's palm. In other words, I was lying on a bed, holding hands with someone. Suddenly, a faint but sweet scent tickled my nose. I knew that fragrance from somewhere. No way. I turned over mechanically, like a clockwork doll, and my body hit something. There, a few centimeters from my nose, was Satori's face. I jumped back in surprise. Satori's arm fell from the bed with a thud. She's asleep? Just to be sure, I prodded her cheek. She scratched the place I'd poked with the tip of her finger. Ugh. Letting out a faint grumble, she turned over in her sleep. Ugh. With her eyes still closed, she chuckled. Was she dreaming? At any rate, she didn't seem to be suffering. Before that last transfer, she was in quite a state. I don't know what had happened after that, but perhaps she blacked out and was carried to her room. We were in Hattori's room. Nothing strange about her being asleep in here. But me? What's my body in her room? Moreover, we were holding hands and lying on the bed together. Just what in the world was Kokoro doing right before I came here? Every single time I transfer, it's always the same question. I'm seriously fed up with it, and yet I can't help but think about it. Just to be on the safe side, I checked over our clothes. Nothing out of place. Fair enough. Kokoro's consciousness was female, so even if she entered a man's body, she surely wouldn't do such a thing. But wait, if Kokoro happened to have other tastes, then it'd be a totally different story. Anyway, I was relieved that nothing had happened. From the looks of her calm, sleeping face, it seemed I wouldn't have to worry about Hattori. Kokoro was probably just there because of Hattori's fit. She stayed by his side, and as a result they ended up falling asleep together, but given that Kokoro's a woman, there's nothing strange about it. I somehow felt that I'd caught a glimpse of Kokoro's kindness. Well then, I'd love to gaze at Hattori's sleeping face forever, but I don't have time right now. The time after a transfer is always busy, yeah, he said that. I silently stepped toward the exit, so as to not wake Hattori. And with that, we need to wrap this episode up here, because we're out of time for today. But I think we're getting close. I'm really curious about... I really want to get back to the point where they come out of the shelter cabin and it turns out they're next to the ocean on an island, and how all that fucking works. I really need to see how that works. Anyway, we'll get there soon, I'm sure. Thanks for watching, Preston. I'll see you in the next one.